Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, we will go through the 8 key dimensions due to which I think Polkadot is a great investment, and despite its current price surge over the past few months, it can give us tremendous returns if the bull market sustains. And after analyzing Polkadot along all these 8 key dimensions, we will make our price predictions in the end. Before we go ahead, here is the disclaimer. So first of all, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a blockchain expert and a business strategist. Therefore, nothing in this video is a financial advice. You should do your own research before investing in cryptocurrencies because this market is very volatile and can be very risky. Also, the information presented in this video and upcoming videos on this channel is time sensitive. And I strongly recommend that you subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss any critical information. Also, at the same time, please push the notifications bell and select the option all so that you are notified about the upcoming videos when they are released. So here are the 8 key dimensions due to which I think that Polkadot can give us good returns in 2021 and in the years to come. The first one is team. The second one is social media presence. The third one is impact across various industries. The fourth one is solution to key problems of first and second generation blockchains like adoption, sustainability, scalability, interoperability, and strategic agility. Then the fifth dimension is the collaborations. The sixth dimension is price history and competing blockchains. The seventh dimension is first mover advantages. And the eighth dimension is exchange listings. So first of all, let's have a look at the team. The team of Polkadot is outstanding. It was founded by Dr. Gavin Wood, Peter Shebin, and Robert Habermeyer. Dr. Gavin Wood invented the Solidity programming language, as we know, which is used to program the smart contracts for the Ethereum blockchain. And the whole purpose of forming Polkadot was to mitigate the shortcomings of Ethereum 1.0 and due to the slow development of Ethereum 2.0 platform. As we will see in the coming sections of this video, I will actually elaborate how Polkadot solves the problems or issues with the first and second generation blockchains. So let's go ahead and dig deep into that. So the second key dimension is social media presence. Whenever we look at the evolving industries or technology paradigms like blockchain technology, it is very important to invest in projects which are not only innovative, but also at the same time they have a good social media presence because it gives the project the visibility which is needed for price appreciation. So as we can see on Twitter, they have 144.4k followers. And then looking at their Telegram channel, it is huge. It is 26,582 members. And that is quite impressive for a project which was off the radar till September 2020. So we can see that the project has gotten a lot of visibility and a lot of traction across the social media, which is very good. Then looking at their Reddit channel, despite being a new project, even though it seems as if it has been around for ages because of the rapid growth which this project has seen, and also due to the visibility which it has gotten across the different social media channels. So here we can see that it has 10,000 members on Reddit, and it is a big achievement for a project which is relatively new as compared to Ethereum, Icon, and other platforms. So looking at the architecture of Polkadot at a higher abstraction level, it seems very interesting because different parachains and then further on parathreads. These are also chains which can be adapted to different industrial use cases, and in this way it gives Polkadot a lot of flexibility in the coming future, because nothing is set in stone. The industries will evolve, new use cases will surface, and as it happens, as we evolve, I can see that those platforms which are adaptive and scalable are going to create a great impact across the different industrial segments. Since the blockchain adoption is still in infancy, and I think that there will be many blockchains that will survive the repetitive bubbles of crypto market cycles, there is still a room to grow significantly for projects like Polkadot, Icon, and VeChain. And the reason for that is that although Ethereum 1.0, which is a second generation blockchain, adds conditions to transactions, making it a viable solution for several use cases for which the first generation blockchains were simply not feasible. For example, Bitcoin, which is a first generation blockchain. But due to slow development of Ethereum 2.0 and its inability to serve several industrial segments like micropayments and its huge transaction fee, I firmly believe that if it gets just 2 to 5% of micropayments market, if it takes just 5% of the supply chain market, which is a 55 trillion US dollar market, and there is a blockchain called VeChain which only and only specifically targets that industrial segment. So if Polkadot just gets a 5 or 6% of that market share, and if it just gets 5 to 10% of the DeFi market in the coming 5 or 6 years, and over here there is something which is very interesting, which is Internet of Things, due to which I think that Polkadot is definitely going to see significant adoption across different industrial segments like manufacturing, etc. Also, at the same time, the ability of Polkadot to assess real-world data via oracles, I firmly believe that Polkadot is a great investment for the coming 3 to 5 years. And the fourth dimension is solution to the key shortcomings of first and second generation blockchains like adoption, like sustainability, scalability, interoperability, and strategic agility. As far as the adoption is concerned, the architecture of Polkadot has been envisioned as a collaboration of different blockchains which specialize for different use cases, for different industrial segments, and for specific situations. So over here, as we can see at the center, we have the relay chain. So this is the hub which ensures harmony and collaboration by enabling consensus and interoperability amongst chains in the Polkadot ecosystem. Also at the same time, it also enables security in this multi-chain network. Then as far as the parachains are concerned, the parachains operate independently and can also create their own tokens. And parathreads are the most interesting ones. Why? Because they really give the Polkadot ecosystem the flexibility to adapt to different use cases in various industries. So overall, you can think of a Polkadot as a hub that connects different blockchains or an ecosystem of blockchains where each blockchain can have dApps for related use cases or industrial segments. These blockchains can be public or private and can have different consensus protocols. And this gives Polkadot the adaptability, scalability, and flexibility to impact various industries, ecosystems, and different specialized use cases. Now we go to pthreads. So they are blockchains that have more flexibility and adaptability to solve specific problems and satisfy particular use cases. And of course, they can also issue their own tokens. So looking at the overall architecture of Polkadot, parathreads actually play a very fundamental role when it comes to adaptability and scalability and also specialization. And at a higher abstraction level, the last component which is worth mentioning are the bridges. And they are mechanisms to facilitate the interoperability amongst parachains, pthreads, and external chains like Ethereum, Bitcoin, and other prominent blockchains. I will make a separate video where I will elaborate the key differences between Ethereum and Polkadot. So please stay tuned, subscribe to this channel, press the notification bell and select the all option so that once this video is out, you can be notified. Now let's have a brief look at the sustainability. So as we know that the first and second generation blockchains, they had problems with hard forks. And whenever a hard fork happens, what does it do? It splits the communities. It creates silos, which is not good for the blockchain space. We should be more co-creating with each other, creating more value and innovating together instead of just getting religiously attached to certain chains. And this is exactly the philosophy of the team of Polkadot and also the philosophy behind the development of Polkadot, of course. So basically these different P threads, they can just simply be created and fine-tuned to certain industrial use cases and so on and so forth. And over here, we can have a look at the way the Polkadot team addresses the governance. So Polkadot employs an on-chain governance model where in order to make any changes to the network, DOT holders vote on a proposal to upgrade the network with the help of the council. The council is an entity comprising of 23 seats, each represented by an on-chain account. Its goal is to represent passive stakeholders, submit sensible and important proposals, and cancel dangerous or malicious proposals. All DOT holders are free to register their candidacy for the council and free to vote for any number of candidates with a voting power proportional to their stake. So governance being a key problem with the first and second generation blockchains, it has been very well addressed while envisioning the architecture of the Polkadot ecosystem, as I call it, because it essentially is an ecosystem of different blockchains. So as far as scalability is concerned, Polkadot is a shared multi-chain network. As I explained before, it is an ecosystem of blockchains essentially, which means that it can process many transactions on several chains in parallel, eliminating the bottlenecks that occurred on legacy networks that processed transactions one by one. So this sort of parallelism helps Polkadot to scale. This parallel processing power significantly improves scalability and creates the right conditions for increased adoption and future growth. As I explained before, the sharded chains in Polkadot are called parachains because they run on the network in parallel. And due to this sort of architecture, the parathreads and parachains, they not only make Polkadot flexible and adaptive to different use cases, but also help to improve the transaction speed significantly, which is very important and was a major shortcoming of the first and second generation blockchains. And as I explained before, one of the major shortcomings of first and second generation blockchains was that it used to create silos of dApps. So dApps of one blockchain won't be able to communicate with the dApps of another blockchain. And due to this shortcoming, various use cases won't be implemented because one dApp on the top of one blockchain cannot access the data from another dApp which is programmed on the top of another blockchain. And over here we can see that unlike previous networks that operated largely as standalone environments, Polkadot offers interoperability and cross-chain communications. This opens the doors to innovate new services and allows users to transform information between the chains. And think of it like this. Now there is less of a need to reinvent the wheel. If you are a developer and if you are developing a dApp and if you need to access some data, you will not be stuck anymore. And you can access that data by collaborating with another dApp which is done on the top of Neo, Ethereum, or some other blockchain. And that significantly reduces the time to market also for the new startups, which is actually not mentioned over here, but I just wanted to emphasize on this point. And the fifth point, and the fourth dimension, which was solution to the key problems of first and second generation blockchains, is strategic agility. So as I have explained earlier that parachains and parathreads, these blockchains offer the flexibility to actually be used across different industrial segments and use cases. And this is very important actually, because as the technology evolves, as the new use cases surface, and also as the new blue oceans come and disrupt certain industries, of course they are going to need specific solutions. So everything in the world is dynamic. The change happens all the time. So those smart contract platforms who have taken this into consideration at the higher abstraction level while defining the architecture of their smart contracts platform, I think that they are not only going to survive the different Bitcoin bubbles, upcoming bubbles, because let's be honest, the adoption of blockchain technology is going to take some time. So I firmly believe that Polkadot has a bright future and it will survive those upcoming Bitcoin market cycles, and also at the same time it will create value in those industrial segments and in those markets which we don't even know about right now. This is all due to the flexibility and scalability which is inherently embedded in the Polkadot architecture. And now let's have a look at their collaborations. Just by looking at the Polkadot DeFi Alliance members, the list goes on and on and on and on, and includes some very interesting partners like Chainlink, which are going to give the blockchains access to real world data and help them create enormous value across traditional industries and the current existing market segments where the blockchain adoption has not taken place, and where a lot of off-chain data can be actually ported to the blockchain or siphoned into the blockchains to create new innovative dApps and create enormous value. But just look at this. The list goes on and on and on and on, and it is enormous. Then looking at the 7 Polkadot networks, it was July 2020, and you can just see what is going on over here. So Polkadot is really getting traction, and it is getting traction fast in different industrial segments. And now look at the different key areas in which Polkadot is developing dApps and creating impact. So it is just enormous. So as Polkadot gets more traction, and as its unique value proposition as a hub or an ecosystem of different blockchains which specialize in different areas, I personally believe that Polkadot has an enormous role to play in the future. And as it evolves, as it creates more value for different industries, I firmly believe that a lot of other collaborations will also come its way. Already, the collaborations of Polkadot are really strong, and I firmly believe that it is on a path to enormous success. So, revisiting this figure again, just look at the different industrial segments over here. As I mentioned before, just looking at the supply chain, it is a $55 trillion industry. So, VeChain is just only and only addressing this market segment, right? So, just imagine if Polkadot gets more traction, and as time goes by, I am pretty sure that it is just simply going to get a lot of new partners in these different industrial segments. And as you have seen already, that Polkadot is playing a key role in the DeFi sector. So I can see a lot of good collaborations coming its way in the near future. So now we look at the sixth dimension, which is price history and competing blockchains. So over here we can see that Polkadot is sitting at number 5, right? And it is a huge achievement for a project which was off the radar till September 2020. So it is a great achievement. It is already sitting at number 5 and has a market cap of 14 billion US dollars, but it still has a significant room to grow provided the bull market persists and lasts. And I also believe that not only Polkadot, but its competing projects like Cardano with a pretty similar value proposition. And then we have Icon. Here is Icon, which has a market cap of 412 million US dollars. So these are all the competing projects of Polkadot. Also, at the same time, Von Chain is one of the competing projects of Polkadot. But let me tell you something: Polkadot is decentralized, right? But its interoperability solution is still invasive. There is just one blockchain which is called Cardia chain, where the interoperability solution, their unique dual node technology, makes it possible for the blockchains to interoperate without compromising security and without doing any tweaks to the blockchains. And that makes it a unique outlier in the sense that, to my knowledge, it is the only blockchain which solves the interoperability problem with its dual node technology in a non-invasive manner, and it is also decentralized. But still, I think Polkadot has an important role to play, and as we can see, its adoption is growing. So if it was a very serious problem, we would have not seen such a tremendous growth in such a short time. However, in the future, this unique competitive advantage of Cardia chain might give it the slight edge which might be required to succeed in certain industrial segments and create a huge impact there. One other blockchain, as I mentioned before, Von Chain, it has a non-invasive interoperability solution, but it is a centralized blockchain. So looking at this sort of an ecosystem where the different blockchains exist which solve the interoperability problem which was there in the second generation blockchains, it is quite interesting. And I personally believe that we will see a future where there will be different blockchains, and as the time goes by, they will organically, with time, create impact in certain industries, and they will just find their place organically. It will not be a very mechanical process. I firmly believe that will happen in some cases, that the founders of certain smart contract platforms or blockchain 3.0 platforms or third generation platforms will be actually surprised themselves to see the adoption in those areas which they didn't even think about when they started off. For example, nowadays electric cars are becoming a reality, right? They will rapidly replace the combustion engines. But the problem is that 20 years back, no one could have even thought about electric cars which would be this much efficient. So everything has evolution to it. And just like the different pieces of jigsaw puzzles in the beginning, it is very difficult to see which piece is going to go where. So think of each piece of the jigsaw puzzle as an individual blockchain smart contracts platform, and where it is going to fit in the big picture of blockchain adoption is yet to be seen. So let's see what is going to happen in the future, but I can tell you that the future is going to be really exciting. Sorry, that was a little bit off topic, but I just wanted to put the things into context. So if the Bitcoin bull market persists, and if Bitcoin hits the prices which many influencers believe in currently, I firmly believe that Polkadot has a lot of room to grow, and we can see some good gains over here even at the current prices. And even more interesting will be the projects which are built, or the dApps that are built on the Polkadot platform, because this is exactly the place where we can just see 20, 40, 80, and even 100x gains in this current bull cycle, provided the bull market persists. So now let's go to the seventh dimension, which is first mover advantages. Of course, Ethereum has the first mover advantages. We all know about that, but it is a second generation blockchain platform. And as I mentioned, the second generation blockchains have a lot of issues. For example, interoperability and also scalability. Now, in order to mitigate the first mover advantages, or in order to shatter them, Cardano already has an Ethereum converter. So the dApps and tokens which are built on the top of Ethereum platforms, they can just simply be converted and ported to the Cardano ecosystem. And that is a huge blow to Ethereum, because the Ethereum 2.0 is still a work in progress, and we don't know when they will actually implement the critical components needed for it to transition into the third generation blockchain domain. Also, one thing which is worth noting is the speed at which the communities and the blockchain investors, as well as the space in general, has embraced changes and upcoming platforms. So as I said before September 2020, no one knew about Polkadot. Even I didn't know about that. But then it just simply got traction at a lightning speed, and now we can see it at the 5th place. So I firmly believe that at some point, if Ethereum 2.0 platform is delayed further, I can see Ethereum at number 3rd or number 4th spot, despite the prevalent opinion that, okay, fine, much of the Ethereum is locked in DeFi, and also at the same time, people think about it as a store of value. Okay, fine, that is okay, but then again, looking at the way Ethereum development is going and its slow progress, I think that many developers are going to switch if the slow development persists. So we never know what is going to happen, right? Ethereum platform came out in 2014, and since then it has also given the investors tremendous returns. So as the space evolves, I firmly believe that the first mover advantages of Ethereum, they are going to dilute with time. And the reason for that is that many blockchain platforms like Cardia Chain and like Cardano, they are making the life of developers super easy to switch over to their networks, and then also leverage on the key advantages which these blockchains provide and which Ethereum platform in its current state does not provide, especially the interoperability problem and the slow transaction speed, which makes it actually useless for many use cases. So I personally believe that the first mover advantages is not as such a big problem, but how the space is going to evolve is yet to be seen. As I said, that it is a space which is evolving rapidly, and we are going to see the Goguen mainnet launch of Cardano very soon. So we might see a price increase in Cardano significantly in the coming months. So let's see how the things play out. So let's go to the 8th dimension now, which is exchanges. So we can see that Polkadot is already listed on all the key tier 1 exchanges like Binance, like OKX, Upbit, Kraken, and so on and so forth. And also Huobi Global, which is also very famous. So the list goes on and on and on. So as far as the exchange listings is concerned, it has already been listed on all the key exchanges. Since now we have analyzed Polkadot along all the 8 key dimensions, now we come to the most interesting part, which is the price prediction. So as we can see that Polkadot has done tremendously well in the past 5-6 months, and it is sitting at number 5 currently as far as the market cap is concerned. It is still a relatively a new project. So if we can see 3 to 4x Ethereum, we can definitely see 8 to 10x Polkadot from this point onwards. And as I always say, the bull markets always surprise us. So does the bear markets. So in bear markets, what happens? The prices go down by 99 or 90 or 95%, as was the case of Icon, which was really overhyped before the 2018 beginning or 2017 and bull cycle. It went to $10, and then it went down by 95% or even more, depending on the exchange that we are talking about. So I firmly believe that if the bull market continues, we can easily get a good return on our investment in Polkadot. So if I put it into just a few sentences, this is not an investment advice. We can see Polkadot at a price of $100 to $200 in the current bull cycle easily if the bull trend continues, right? But if we just break the key support levels for Bitcoin, and if we go below 20K due to the current correction, then I think that we can get Polkadot at some really good juicy prices and slowly accumulate it over the coming 1 year or so that we can get an even better return on Polkadot. So right now I will not buy Polkadot. Why? Because it has already risen a lot in price, I will wait a little bit. And even if I will buy now, I will slowly accumulate over time. So for example, if I want to acquire 10,000 Polkadot, I'm not going to buy all of them at once. Never, never. That is not a good strategy. I will buy a little bit now, then after 2 to 3 weeks, I will buy again, and so on. So I will slowly add Polkadot to my portfolio, and I will also definitely diversify into Cardano and other related platforms which focus on interoperability and other issues which we had with generation 2 blockchains. So stay tuned guys, subscribe to this channel if you like this video, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye, take care, and have a wonderful day. Bye.